Hey everyone, so in today's quick tip, we're going to take a look at the Mill Professional Advanced Rough and some of the toolpath options it has to help you when programming something as simple as a tapered walled pocket. So let's go ahead and dive right in. To begin with, I'm just going to delete this feature here and we're going to start from scratch, kind of load in some of our settings. Now this is the same part that we did with a 3D Mill Standard Advanced Rough, or I'm sorry, Z-Level Rough and Z-Level Finish. What I want to focus on is just the advanced roughing in this routine. We're going to go to Mill 3-axis. We're going to go ahead and select our geometry. Again, we're going to click on Select Solid Body. We'll select the solid and then choose OK. Now from here, the machining strategy we want to look at is the Mill Professional Advanced Rough. Now this is a very powerful 3-axis roughing routine and it has a lot of options. In today's example, there's really 3 or 4 areas that I want to focus on. To begin with, we'll just start by entering our tool information. We're going to look at our patterns here. We'll just use a morph spiral in this example. We'll look at our leads. Okay, so this is a center cutting tool. In the Mill Professional, when using the Advanced Rough, you can tell the software whether you have a center cutting tool or a non-center cutting tool. This is a very useful feature to say whether you want the tool to plunge into the workpiece or whether you want to avoid plunging into the workpiece. In our example, this is going to be a center cutting tool. We're going to set this to ramp. We're going to use the automatic settings and the defaults will be just fine. Now, if we go ahead, let's just go ahead and compute our toolpath to begin with. This will give us a roughing routine, very similar to the roughing routine that we had with our Z-level rough. But what we want to do is talk about some of the options that the Advanced Rough has. Let's go to a front view and turn our transparency on. And if you remember with the Z-level rough, we had to come back in and do a second toolpath in order to finish the floor of our part. Okay, let's take a look at how the Mill Professional Advanced Rough is a little different. Let's go ahead and edit our feature and we're going to go to options. One of the options that you're going to see here is called Machine Flatlands, and we'll go ahead and turn that on. Okay, what this will do is generate a pass at the flatlands or shoulders of your part. In our example here, this will make sure that we get much closer to the flat or the final surface of our pocket here. Okay, so that's the first option that I wanted to talk to you. If we had multi-levels here with different shoulders, it would pick those up as well. Again, if we edit our feature and we look at options, you can turn the flatlands on. Okay, so that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about. Another one, if we go to parameters, I want to take a look at the allowance option here. Right now it's set to global, but with the Advanced Rough, you can have a different amount set for a side allowance and a bottom allowance. Okay, so this way you can leave different amounts of stock either on the wall and the floor. In this example, we want to finish the floor, so we're going to leave the bottom allowance at 0, but we want to leave stock on the wall, so we're going to leave 20 thou for our side allowance. Okay, so if we recalculate this here, it'll be hard to tell, but we're now leaving 20 thou on the wall, but we are machining the floor of the part. Let's go ahead and go back and edit our feature again. Okay, let's look at our options. Okay, so if we wanted to do a rest roughing routine where we use the larger tool and then we wanted to rough the leftover material, we could turn that on right here, and we could load in another operation and include a rest roughing operation in there as well. That's a really nice feature, but that's not what I wanted to look at. I wanted to jump down here to, let's see, so we have our tool is a 1/2-inch end mill. We have our pattern, this is a morph spiral. We're getting into our parameters, and one of the areas that I want you to look at is this number of intermediate steps, and this is going to be a great option to use to re-rough the walls of the pocket. Let's go ahead and recompute here. Okay, you can see our toolpath. This is without intermediate steps turned on. Let's run this through a simulation. This way we can take a look at the toolpath that we're generating. You can see it spirals in and then it works its way out. All right, let's just go ahead and speed this up a little bit. And if you look on the walls of the part, you can see that we have this stair step of material left behind from our depth of cut. Now, what we can use the intermediate steps for is to come back in and re-rough that wall to prepare it kind of like a semi-finished routine. So let's go ahead and close this out. We're going to go back and edit our feature. We'll go to the parameters tab, and we're going to add 2 intermediate steps for every depth of cut. All right, so we'll adjust our parameters. I'm going to loosen up my machining tolerance here, and we'll recompute. And we'll just run this through a simulation again. Now, you will be able to see in the toolpath that we have additional passes on the wall. If we get into the simulation and we run this through, you'll see that we have a better prepared wall for finishing. Again, it's going to rough its way all the way down, and then it re-roughs where the leftover material would be based on each intermediate step. So it's taking 2 additional passes for every depth of cut, starting from the bottom and working its way up. So this is another very good semi-finished routine. Now, just like in the previous example, we roughed out the floor, we roughed out the walls. Now we want to come back in and finish the wall with a Z-level finish. Again, in this example, we're going to add an advanced Z-level finish as a mill professional user. There's some additional options in here that I think are valid to review. We'll use the same bullnose cutter here. We're going to come into our patterns. Now, with the advanced Z-level finish, you could either start from the top and work its way down, or you could start from the bottom and work its way up. So you have some more sorting control as far as the order in which things are cutting in. As far as your method, you could do a single direction cutting, bi-directional cutting, or if you want to keep the tool in the cut the whole time, you can do a spiral pass. In this example, we're going to do single direction cutting. Now, if we look at our parameters here, we have our depth of cut. That's how much it takes per each pass. We also have our machining tolerance. Again, I'll loosen this up here. The one that I want to talk about is machine flatlands. Now, no, this does not clear the flat areas of your part. That's what machine flatlands was used for in the advanced rough. But what this will ensure that you get is a pass at the intersection of your walls and floors. That way we make sure that on the floor and the wall we're getting a pass. Okay, again, we'll just go over to our leads and add a circular lead in and finish. Okay, we'll recompute the advanced Z-level finish. And again, as a mill professional user, you can expect more options to come in for your semi-finishing and finishing, and where you would need to use additional toolpath strategies as a mill standard user, you'll find the mill professional are going to include a lot of those options just within the toolpath itself.